You know what
I mean? That's what I took one for.
And the football. Hello everybody, my name is Noah, and today I'm going to give you guys a little informational speech on the UFC. So just I want to start off with a question. What sport do you guys think is the fastest growing in America today?
Soccer!
So if you are thinking about soccer or hockey or football, you would actually be wrong. It's actually UFC or MMA fighting. So I'm going to start off just giving you guys a brief history, some of the rules of combat, where it is today as far as popularity goes, and then I'm going to give you guys a little preview of the Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva fight tonight. And then this kind of leads into my central idea, is that the fighter, the modern day fighter, was kind of reinvented with the rise of the UFC. So some of you guys are probably thinking, what is the UFC? And it actually it stands for Ultimate Fighting Championship. And to really understand the UFC, we have to understand what is mixed martial arts. And mixed martial arts consists of many different disciplines. And so to give you guys an example of a couple different disciplines, there's 6 main ones: karate, boxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, wrestling, and Muay Thai striking. Now a lot of these come from a lot of different places around the world. Taekwondo comes from like the Asian area of the world. So UFC began in Denver, Colorado. That was where the first UFC event was held in 1993, and like it was open to every single discipline. So you would have like a wrestler fighting a boxer, or a lot of people with like different specialties fighting each other, and this was very unique. Nothing like this has ever happened before. So that's where kind of it gets really unique. So fighters had to adapt to. Fighters had to adapt to change their styles. So here's some basic rules. There's 5 different weight classes, ranging from 125 pounds to 225 pounds. There's 2 different types of fights as far as length goes. There's 3 5-minute rounds for non-title fights, and 5 5-minute rounds for title fights. So it's the difference between 15 minutes and 25 minutes. And there are 3 different ways you can win. The first is just by knockout, which is similar to in boxing. You just knock someone out by punching them in the face, or just like something like that. Then there's the judge's decision, if it goes all 5 rounds or all 3 rounds, depending if it's a title fight or not. And then there's tap out or submission. And I'll just give you guys a brief example. Levi, do you want to come up here? So a submission would be a headlock where I just get him like this, and he's gonna choke, so he'll just tap out. There's a couple other ones like an arm bar where if I just have him like this, he has to tap out, or else I'm gonna break his arm. So okay, thank you. So those are a couple examples of just some submissions. So where is the UFC today? Like I said earlier, it's grown tremendously. The UFC has fighters from all over the world fighting, and like I said earlier, it's the fastest growing sport in America. So there's kind of 2 main reasons why I feel the UFC is so popular. The UFC does a great job of kind of telling the fighters' stories, and it brings it to a more personal level where the viewers can kind of relate to the fighters. And there's also very unpredictable outcomes. So the Silva and Sonnen fight tonight. Anderson Silva is the current champion. He's had the championship for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years. He's fought 9 times as the champion. He's won all 9 times. He specializes in Muay Thai striking, and he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And then there's Chael Sonnen on the opposite side of the spectrum, who's a wrestler. He was a D1 wrestler at the University of Oregon. So this is kind of a good example of like 2 very different people fighting, and that is desired by us people, I guess. So this is not the first time they fought. They fought 2 years ago, and Sonnen was he was a very big underdog, and Silva actually, okay, so Silva was the favorite, and Sonnen actually ended up like beating him up and he did really well in the fight, and he was gonna win except for the last like 30 seconds when Anderson Silva put him in like an armbar and ended up winning by submission. And so this was very unexpected for Sonnen to do so well against Anderson Silva. And there's also been lots of trash talking between the two parties, and that's also like made it a lot more interesting to watch. So like I said earlier, there's lots of unpredictable outcomes, which makes kind of all the stories very interesting to listen to and watch. So just to finish up, the fight's going to happen in about an hour, so I'll wrap things up. So just to give you guys a little conclusion, I told you guys about the history of the UFC, some of the rules of combat, where it is today and why it's so popular, and then I also gave you guys a little fight preview of Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva. So just to leave off with one last note, like 20 years ago, no one thought like this would be such a big hit. Like people from all different parts of the world with all different specialties fighting each other. So maybe in like the next 50 years, what will be the next big thing that we are going to be paying to watch? And that's all I have for you guys today. So if you have any questions, the floor is open. Okay, so if you guys don't have any questions, then that's good. Thank you.